Welcome to Monza for the 14th race of the 2015 Euroformula Open season. This is the penultimate stop on the calendar, and well, the Cathedral of Speed gave us a wonderful race yesterday, and we can hope for more of the same slipstream action once more over 16 laps today as we begin to build towards the championship finale at Circuits Catalunya at the start of November. Well, it's a warm welcome from myself, Ben Evans, to an somewhat surprisingly sunny day here in Monza. The weather forecast was absolutely terrible coming into the morning, but the track has dried out and there is absolutely no doubt that slick tyres are the way to go. Yesterday we saw an absolutely wonderful race with dicing throughout the field, which eventually resolved itself in favour of Vitor Baptista, the Brazilian championship leader, winning his fourth race on the bounce. But his principal championship rival, Konstantin Tereshchenko, second in the championship, took pole position with the very last lap of qualifying this morning. Second on the grid is Damiano Fioravanti, who was absolutely flying yesterday, got involved in somebody else's accident, and his rotten luck continued, but he really has the pace for a podium. Something of a surprise, third on the grid for Kandati Kusiri, the driver from Thailand, in his second Euroformula Open event. He was a first corner retiree yesterday, but qualifying today was really in his favour, particularly as he actually lost his fastest time in qualifying to a track limits infringement. So he lines up in third. His fourth place, it's his RP Motorsport teammate Igor Wililko, driver from Poland, who again got slowed by other incidents early on in yesterday's race, but had the pace to come through. Lining up in fifth place, Tanat Sathian Thirikul for Team Westtech. Sathian Thirikul now out of mathematical possibility of winning the title, but could still snatch third in the standings. Lining up in sixth place and scoring an excellent fourth place yesterday was Diego Menchaca, the Campos Racing driver, really enjoying the action at Monza this weekend and put together an absolutely thrilling performance. As the grid begins to clear, we have to look a lot further down the starting order to find championship leader Vitor Baptista and also yesterday's runner-up Yu Kanemaru, both of them encountering challenges in qualifying. Here then in seventh place we find Vitor Baptista, and this is going to be a little bit of a sterner test for Vitor Baptista with just 3 races remaining. Every point counts and he's not out of the woods yet at all in terms of his lead over Tereshchenko. Eighth on the grid for Emiliano de Vallota Motorsport is Yu Kanemaru, the Japanese driver who was on pole position yesterday. A poor start cost him. As the grid gets cleared, we'll have a look at, in ninth place, Leonardo Pulcini, already a race winner this year. That came at the Red Bull Ring in July. Pulcini, who was well up the order until the huge spin at Ascari, put him out of contention, and then completing the top 10 is Anthony Patak, another of the RP Motorsport drivers. Patak was caught up in that first corner incident with Kusiri, and therefore his race was just a couple of metres long. Yarin Stern lines up the 11th for Team Westtech, and Yarin was involved in an incident at the Parabolica which pitched him into early retirement. But he's got the pace, he's got the racecraft to be able to climb up through the pack and potentially challenge for a podium. Enrique Baptista enjoying his best weekend of the year for Campos Racing. He scored a career best 6th place finish yesterday. As we look at the grid in full, so Tereshchenko and Damiano Fioravanti on the front row, then Kandati Kusiri and Igor Wililko, a couple of wild cards there, could be interesting. Tanat Sathian Thirikul, Diego Menchaca on row 3, and then we'd expect to see Vitor Baptista and Yu Kanemaru both fighting through from row 4. Pulcini and Patak on row 5, and then Stern and Baptista. William Barbosa finished 5th yesterday, and he lines up in 13th ahead of Ahmad Al-Ghanem, then Andres Saravia and Alessio Rivera on row 8 from Ling Kang making his debut, as does Mahavi Raghunathan, with Jose Manuel Villalta and Parth Gorpard on row 10. The cars about to be released on their green flag lap, and this should be fascinating. 16 laps away. There is our pole sitter, Konstantin Tereshchenko. He has won 4 times this season. He has rarely been off the podium, but he comes into the race 13 points back from Vitor Baptista. But in the Euroformula Open, it's the driver's 14 best results that count. And once you start adjusting the points, then it's actually a slightly sterner test for Tereshchenko. Except to say that a poor result for Baptista today would really hurt his chances. We've never seen the Euroformula Open before. To explain, all the drivers run with the Dallara F312 chassis. They all have the control engine supplied by the GT Sport organisation and run on the control compound Michelin tyre, which offers fantastic performance, but does take careful management in the first couple of laps. Yesterday we saw them starting the race on a track that was dry, suitable for slick tyres, but a little bit slippery offline. That the track is now really as dry as it has been all weekend, and therefore hopefully won't have some of the spins that we saw yesterday, but we will have the fantastic slipstreaming. William Barbosa there you see in the BVM car, the Colombian driver who raced through to career best 5th place yesterday. Always goes better in race conditions than he does in qualifying, so let's see whether or not he can push his way through the order as the pack pick their way through the Lesmos. That is Yarin Stern, still chasing that elusive maiden victory in the Euroformula Open. He's had a couple of second places over his Euroformula Open career. He's now in his 3rd year in the category. You feel that from 11th on the grid, victory today is going to be a big ask. Yuka Amaru did score that breakthrough win at Silverstone back in June, and yesterday could have been his day, but that poor start allowed Tereshchenko and Baptista to get the jump on him, and thereafter Kanemaru could stay with Tereshchenko and Baptista, but couldn't find a way past. But Tereshchenko picking up a 5-second penalty for track limits, and that saw him demoted to 3rd. The RP Motorsport team watching on nervously to the monitors as Konstantin Tereshchenko slows the pack right down through the Parabolica before just warming up the Michelin tyres and then heading on to his grid spot. We are here in Monza for the 14th race of the Euroformula Open season. Just 3 to go. It is a championship shootout between Vitor Baptista and Konstantin Tereshchenko. It is this white and red car of Tereshchenko which will start from pole position. Can he fight through to score his 5th victory of the season, his first since Silverstone in June? Will Vitor Baptista be able to race up from 7th on the grid, or will it be a new name altogether on the top step of the podium? There are the assembled ranks of Team Westtech, and they will be looking to see how Sathian Thiragol, Yarin Stern and Mahavi Raghunathan are able to fight up through the field as the last couple of cars roll into position, which means we are about to get the green flag from the marshal at the rear of the field, which we do now. The revs rise, the red lights come on, the red lights flash out, and away we go. And it's a good start from Tereshchenko. It's a very good start from Vitor Baptista and Diego Menchaca as the field charged towards turn 1. But Tereshchenko under immediate pressure from Damiano Fioravanti as the cars, all Constantine, are on the brakes into the Rettifilio. One of them takes the escape road. Fortunately, none of them facing in the wrong direction. Somebody runs wide through the gravel track. That was possibly Vitor Baptista. We will find out momentarily as they come towards the end of the first sector, as William Barbosa possibly also lost a little bit of ground through Curva Grande. It's Tereshchenko who leads. Fioravanti is second. Wililko third. Then Menchaca, Kasiri, Sathian Thiragol. Running wide is Leonardo Pulcini, and Vitor Baptista did lose time. He's down into 8th place and has got a lot of ground to make up, as there's plenty of squabbling for position in these early stages. Alessio Rivera side by side with Ahmad Al Ghanem through the first Lesmo. On towards the second, there is Rivera losing out to the UAE driver. Got one other car in trouble at the back of the picture. That is Jose Manuel Villalta with a damaged nose cone. Tereshchenko leads from Fioravanti, then Wililko, the white car of Menchaca. Vito Baptista in 8th has got plenty to do. The same for Kanemaru. He has slipped down into 10th place as they accelerate out of Ascari and bursting into the sunlight along the back straight towards the Parabolica. The driver most likely to is Tanat Sathyan Thirikul. He draws alongside and around the outside of Kandati Kasiri, turning into the Parabolica. Also gaining ground is Vito Baptista as Pulcini runs a little bit wide in the DAV car. Across the line then to complete the first lap. Tereshchenko leads from Fioravanti and is trying to pull clear of the Italian driver in the slipstream. Yarin Stern has got Kanemaru bottled up behind him as Fioravanti looks to the inside of Tereshchenko and is going to challenge and takes the lead. Great move from Damiano Fioravanti. He leads the race. And now it's Tereshchenko in second as Stern and Kanemaru get tangled up with each other through the Rettifilio. Tereshchenko looks to fight back immediately behind the silver and black RP Motorsport car of Damiano Fioravanti. Fioravanti squeezing Tereshchenko towards the grass. They almost interlock wheels into the chicane, but Fioravanti elbows out, holds the place as Vito Baptista eases past Kandati Kasiri. And as the leaders battle like this, it's bringing Wililko into the mix. It's going to bring Diego Menchaca in as well. Pulcini looks to challenge Kasiri. Brilliant racing in these early stages. There's the another Pulcini to the inside of Kandati Kasiri. Goes through. Now there is a little bit of a challenge to Konstantin Tereshchenko from Igor Wililko. And Tereshchenko takes his turn to defend to the inside. This is going to be fascinating. The Campos Racing RP Motorsport Team Dynamics, the wild card from Team Westtech of Tanat Sathyan Thirikul in the mix. And all of this is helping Damiano Fioravanti to sprint away at the front of the field. It's also brought Vito Baptista, there he is, the back of the queue, looking to the move to the inside of Sathyan Thirikul into this train for the lead of the race. As Tereshchenko defends from Wililko, Baptista gains the place on Tanat to the inside. And that is 5th position for Vito Baptista as they power through, end the second lap. Fioravanti leads by 1.2 seconds. Tereshchenko in second, but he has got Wililko alongside him. He's got teammate Diego Menchaca also trying to take advantage of the slipstream. Oh, there's contact, and Tereshchenko goes flying off the road. Damage to the front suspension. The car still not slowing down, and Tereshchenko's race is run. He has wrecked the front suspension, and there he is limping on his way. And that is a pivotal moment in the championship fight. Konstantin Tereshchenko continues, but the car is damaged. They're all scattering to avoid him, and Vito Baptista has to take to the grass in evasive action. So do several others, and Tereshchenko, both of the front suspension has wrenched itself loose. He grinds to a halt now in the runoff area at the second chicane, and that is terrible luck for Tereshchenko. Disaster for the Campos Racing team, and that is the Russian driver's first retirement of the season. Now, with dropped scores, that's actually not going to hurt him too much in the championship. It's not ideal from pole position, but it's not quite the disaster it could have been. So now order is Fioravanti leads from Wililko, Menchaca, Vito Baptista, and then we have got Tanat Sathyan Thirikul, Leonardo Pulcini, Kandati Kasiri and Kanemaru. Here's another look at it then, and it was Tereshchenko just misjudging, pulling out of the toe behind Igor Wililko. That wrenched away the front right suspension, and then the car very, very difficult to slow down. Frustration for the Campos team. Disaster for Tereshchenko. Now Kanemaru is taking his turn to try and race towards the front of the field, as is Vito Baptista, who's got the run on Diego Menchaca into turn 1, and Vito Baptista moves into 3rd place. Great performance this from Baptista, carving up from 7th on the grid, as he has got teammates Wililko and Fioravanti up ahead of him. The RP Motorsport team will be delighted to see their cars flying in formation at the front of the field. Diego Menchaca looks to fight back and in fact runs a little bit wide through the chicane. He will rejoin pretty much where he left proceedings. He's got Sathian Thirikul, who challenges to the outside. We are on lap 4 of 16, so approaching quarter race distance. Have a glimpse of Yarin Stern. He completes the top 10. There is Alessio Rivera. He's got Enrique Baptista just behind him. Here is our race leader, Damiano Fioravanti. Fioravanti, yet to get on the podium this year, has had such bad luck, but now has got a golden opportunity out front at his home race in Monza. He's got teammate Wililko 1.7 seconds behind him, and then Vitor Baptista, who I'm sure will look to work in the tow with Wililko to try and close the gap down. Now, if Vitor Baptista were to win, this would be his 5th victory in succession, his 7th of the season overall. It would be Fioravanti or Wililko's first ever career win in the Euroformula Open. At the moment, Fioravanti 1.7 seconds, still clear of the train behind. Driver looking to make the move is Yuki Kanemaru, and he is about to be joined by William Barbosa as Baptista eases past Igor Wililko. Vitor Baptista up into 2nd place as Pulcini challenges Diego Menchaca. That all got very, very tight. Kanemaru finds a way past Candidati Kasiri. William Barbosa next along in the train. And we're having exactly the same slipstreamer that we did yesterday as now Leonardo Pulcini for DAV Racing looks to try and bring himself into the mix. And Pulcini looking one side then the other, finds a way around the outside of Diego Menchaca. Great move from Pulcini back then. He runs wide into the gravel. Menchaca looks to immediately fight back, finds a way past well before they arrive into the first Lesmo. Kanemaru, Kasiri and Barbosa will be looking to join in that fight for 5th in fairly short order. It might become the fight for 4th as well if they can run together and close up on to Tanart Sathian Thirikul. We've got Anthony Patak there. He is in 11th, just clear of Alessio Rivera. So Fioravanti leading into Ascari. Baptista and Wililko next in the queue. Out of Ascari. Now, can Vitor Baptista do anything about closing up onto Damiano Fioravanti? It's 1.7 seconds at the start of the lap. It's actually been a very good lap, this, in favour of Fioravanti, who's probably going to be 2 seconds clear at the end of it, as William Barbosa lines up the move on Candidati Kasiri. There wasn't much space there, and there became even less of it by the time they arrived at the Parabolica. Here is, look, meanwhile, at Ahmad Al Ghanem, having a little bit of a trip across the gravel. Vitor Baptista 1.8 seconds back from Fioravanti at the end of the lap. This is where the real battle is, isn't it? The Pulcini, Kanemaru, Kasiri, Barbosa fight. Also Alessio Rivera with Enrique Baptista as now Candidati Kasiri, attempting to see if he can pick away past William Barbosa. A pair of them fight over 8th and 9th place. The train of cars for 2nd and 3rd still very tight as well. Last time through it was Enrique Baptista who set the fastest lap of the race. Well, Leonardo Pulcini not really making the inroads into Tanart Sathian Thirikul. In fact, Tanart, best part of a second quicker last time around. Possibly by dint of the fact that Pulcini was so busy racing with those around him. So through Ascari, here is the fight for 5th place. An instant at the Rettifilio between Ahmad Al Ghanem and Jose Manuel Villalta. Falauta, who just rolled to a halt at the periphery of the gravel trap. He should be able to be mobile from there, as along the start and finish stretch, Vitor Baptista starting to come back now at Damiano Fioravanti, as it's Kanemaru who has got the toe behind Diego Menchaca. He looks to try and find some space to the inside. None is forthcoming, and so the order remains in that battle. Pulcini 5th, Menchaca 6th, Kanemaru 7th, Barbosa 8th, Kasiri 9th. Yaron Stern completes the top 10 as they head through Curva Grande on towards the chicane. Menchaca looks to challenge Pulcini. Pulcini, though, covers the inside line. Menchaca runs wide and launches the car over the curbs, and that gives the opening to Kanemaru, who looks the inside of Diego Menchaca, gains the place. Great move that from Kanemaru after Menchaca had that wayward moment at the chicane. Menchaca immediately into the clutches of William Barbosa. Out front, though, Damiano Fioravanti leads from Vitor Baptista and Igor Wililko. Sathian Thirikul in 4th, and then we are focusing on this fight for 5th, headed by Leonardo Pulcini from Kanemaru, Diego Menchaca, and William Barbosa, who goes across the gravel. Oh, and rejoins in the path of the traffic and thumps into the Armco barrier. Somehow he was avoided by the other cars, and that's a great shame for William Barbosa. Here's a look at Menchaca's moment. Cross, and then here is how it all went wrong for Barbosa. Through the gravel, he just keeps his right foot planted, and then the car snaps across, launched over the curb and into the wall. Okay, as now into Rettifilio. Pulcini defends from Kanemaru. Fioravanti leads out front. Vitor Baptista trying to close onto his tail. We are on the 8th of 16 laps, are approaching half race distance as Kanemaru looks to challenge Leonardo Pulcini into the chicane. No space there, no way through for Kanemaru, as then Menchaca looks to fight back into the first Lesmo. William Barbosa walks away from his stricken vehicle. A great shame, because he had been going fantastically well all weekend. Leonardo Pulcini, momentary respite in 5th place, with Kanemaru a couple of car lengths back, and of course the waved yellow flags on the exit of Ascari. But the marshals again doing a great job recovering Barbosa's vehicle very rapidly. Now is Vitor Baptista coming up onto turns with our race leader, Damiano Fioravanti. We'll find out fairly shortly as crosses the line to complete half race distance. Fioravanti leads by 1.4 seconds now from Baptista. Vitor Baptista is fractionally edging closer to Fioravanti. So now Wililko challenges half race distance completed here in the 14th race of the Euroformula Open season in Monza. Thank you for your company today as Damiano Fioravanti leads the way from Vitor Baptista and Igor Wililko. It's an RP Motorsport 1-2-3. The big talking point, if you've just joined us, is that Vitor Baptista's principal championship rival, Konstantin Tereshchenko, is a retiree after contact early on, trying to get past Igor Wililko. Also being wheeled into the pits then was Parth Gorpard, who I think was the driver involved in the first lap incident, and the Indian driver for the DAV team wheeled back into his garage. In 4th place we've got Tanot Sathian Thirikul. 5th is this thrilling battle between Leonardo Pulcini, Kanemaru and Diego Menchaca, but Now the question is whether or not Vitor Baptista can close up onto terms with teammate Fioravanti. Between now and the flag, we've got the battle for 5th place continuing. Diego Menchaca part of it. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Kandati Kasiri and Yaron Stern. In fact, Stern has found a way past Kasiri since we last saw them in action. As now Diego Menchaca, the white Campos car, closes onto the tail of the black Emilio de Villota machine of Yu Kanemaru as they run out of the Parabolica along the start and finish straight. And this time Vitor Baptista appreciably closer to Damiano Fioravanti, and that gap has come down to just over a second, with Baptista well and truly in the tow of his teammate. Meanwhile, Pulcini has been overhauled by Yu Kanemaru. Kanemaru gains the place, moves up ahead of Pulcini. Kanemaru goes 5th, Pulcini down to 6th. Diego Menchaca retaining that 7th place. In terms of the rookie race, by the way, that's headed by Igor Wililko at present, from Leonardo Pulcini and Diego Menchaca. As Pulcini looks to fight back on Kanemaru, forces Kanemaru to the inside at the chicane, and then moves across, asserts his right to line. Great move from Pulcini, if he can keep it on the island, which he manages to do. And in fact, Kanemaru then has to defend from Diego Menchaca into the first of the Lesmos. Through they go, on towards the second. Brilliant racing throughout the field, as we have had all weekend in the Euroformula Open at Monza. It's just a track that lends itself to wonderful slipstreaming action. Degree of anxiety, not unsurprisingly, on the Emilio de Villota Motorsport pit wall, although Yu Kanemaru, where he currently is, I think will be out of championship contention unless cards really start to fall in his favour. Meanwhile, there is a moment for Ling Kang through the Rettifilio. He'll have felt that, given how low the ride height of these cars are, as we are coming to the end of the 10th of 16 laps here in Monza, as Pulcini and Kanemaru continue to trade places. It was Pulcini who had 5th over the line. Kanemaru has got his nose in front of Pulcini as they head down towards the Rettifilio. Kanemaru moves across, covers the inside line, reclaims the place back from Leonardo Pulcini. But Pulcini was able to fight back at the second chicane a lap ago. So we'll see whether he's able to do much the same thing again. They head through Curva Grande. They've still got Diego Menchaca glued to their tail, but this is a nice run for Pulcini. And again, Kanemaru covers the inside line. Pulcini looks to see if there's a way through, and Diego Menchaca sees a gap to the outside and fights his way past, forces Pulcini out wide. Leonardo Pulcini tries to defend from Diego Menchaca as they head into the first Lesmo. They're almost 3 wide, and Pulcini just holds on to that 6th place as they come out of the first Lesmo onto the second. It brings Yaron Stern into the battle as well. They turn out of Lesmo 2 and head on towards Ascari. Under the bridge at the banking, and Kanemaru has been able to break away from Pulcini. That's going to give you arguably a reasonably clear run through to the flag. It depends whether or not Pulcini can close back up onto him. There you see at the front of the field, Vitor Baptista has got Damiano Fioravanti well and truly within his sights. Now, are we going to see any challenge here from Diego Menchaca? He looks to the outside of Pulcini into the Parabolica, nothing doing. This is the fight for 2nd place on the rookie rostrum as well. So then come out of the Parabolica on to the start and finish straight. This will complete lap 12, 3/4 race distance, just 4 remaining. So they fan out on the run towards the Rettifilio. Again, Pulcini losing out in the slipstream, has to defend and attack at the same time. Menchaca has got the line, and Pulcini follows in behind. Yaron Stern joining the mix, as does Kandati Kasiri. They go into Curva Grande now. The order is Damiano Fioravanti who leads the way from Vitor Baptista. Igor Wililko is third. Tanat Sathyanthirikul fourth. Yukanamaru is fifth. We're watching the fight for sixth. Diego Menchaca from Leonardo Pulcini and Tanat Sathyanthirikul, with Kadati Kusiri in ninth place. Very much part of the scrap. Then there's a big gap back to Enrique Baptista in 10th. Yukanamaru, I think, signalling to Pulcini maybe to use his head a little bit more. And possibly frustrated they hadn't worked together and had allowed Tanat Sathyanthirikul and the leading trio to break clear. Sticker flapping then on the nose cone of Pulcini's car. Here are the race leaders. So Damiano Fioravanti leading as he now comes to the conclusion of lap 12. So just 4 remain. Across the line he comes. Vitor Baptista 8/10 of a second back in the tow, but not going to be close enough to challenge. And then it's a third of the RP Motorsport cars. Igor Wililko holding station in third position, with Sathyanthirikul in fourth. There is Tanat Sathyanthirikul. He's been on the podium several times already in 2015, as Yarin Stern takes evasive action through the escape road at the Rettifilio. He's going to rejoin just about in the same battle, so it's Menchaca who's got his nose in front of Pulcini in 6th, and then Yarin Stern in 8th. Kadati Kusiri just slipping back a little bit from that group of cars. They've allowed Yukanamaru in 5th to escape. As they flick through the chicane on towards the first Lesmo. Just need to be careful of the AstroTurf. Pulcini, he's got a lot of muck on his tyres as a result of that. It means the car understeers a little bit through the second Lesmo, accelerating on towards Ascari. And this battle has just lost its intensity. Through Ascari for Diego Menchaca in 6th place. Here is the fight for lead. Damiano Fioravanti ahead of Vitor Baptista. Around the Parabolica they go. Got just 3 laps remaining here in Monza for the 14th race of the Euroformula Open season. And this is the fight at the front of the field. Damiano Fioravanti clear of his RP Motorsport teammates Vitor Baptista and Igor Wililko. It's Vitor Baptista, the championship leader, who will be smiling at the end of today. His principal championship rival, Konstantin Tereshchenko, an early retirement after contact with Wililko. And now the question is whether or not Vitor Baptista can find a way past Fioravanti in the late stages of the race to make it 5 wins in succession and really give him stranglehold on the championship heading towards Circuits Catalunya at the end of October, which will be the concluding event of the season. Lovely slow motion shot of Vitor Baptista seesawing at the wheel. And Baptista still have to just consult his mirrors. Igor Wililko is there or thereabouts. But this has been intriguing to see the pace of the RP Motorsport cars for Damiano Fioravanti, the 19-year-old Italian, his 3rd campaign in the Euroformula Open. This year he really has blossomed as a driver, been in the top 10 throughout the entirety of the season, and has had some wretched luck along the way, most notably yesterday. But he really has regrouped overnight absolutely perfectly, and now as he starts his penultimate lap, he will be hoping that the next 9 kilometres or so disappear in a blur. Vitor Baptista is there or thereabouts, but he's not quite able to take advantage of Fioravanti's tow, certainly not to the extent that he can challenge into the Rettifilio. It means that Fioravanti, as you can see, does not move at all off the racing line. He's just going to let those behind do the hard work, see if they can close up onto his tail. The RP Motorsport trio at the front have now shaken off Tanart Sathi and Thirikul. He's 3 seconds back. In 5th, we've got Yuki Kanemaru. 6th is Diego Menchaca. 7th, Leonardo Pulcini. 8th, Yarin Stern. 9th, Kandati Kasiri. And now completing the top 10 is Alessio Rivera, who's found a way around Enrique Baptista. Into first, Lesmo. Vitor Baptista still trying to wind up the heat on Fioravanti, but Damiano Fioravanti absorbing all of it. And this is a win that or a potential win, has been coming for a while. Fioravanti very unlucky not to be on the podium yesterday. Unlucky too, really, not to be in the podium in the second of the races at Spa-Francorchamps. And now there we have in third place Igor Wililko. This would be Wililko's second trip to the rostrum in 2015. He finished third in race 2 at Spa, the ADAC 4-mile master graduate. Now into the Parabolica for the penultimate time. A little bit further back, you can see that Diego Menchaca is closing up onto Yuki Kanemaru. Kanemaru wiggling around, trying to break Menchaca's toe. It's not happening though, is it? So they turn through the Parabolica. I don't know if Menchaca's going to be quite close enough. Meanwhile, Vitor Baptista is not close enough to Damiano Fioravanti as they get on the brakes into the Rettifilio. And Fioravanti accelerates out the Rettifilio. There is Igor Wililko just riding shotgun behind Vitor Baptista. I'm sure that the drivers will have been told on the radio, race as much as you want, but whatever you do, do not collide with each other. You can certainly see just how hard Wililko is working. He really wants this podium, if not a little bit better from it. He'll also be well poised to win the rookie class into the chicane. Meanwhile, for Yuki Kanemaru, the fight for 5th with Diego Menchaca and Leonardo Pulcini, but neither Menchaca nor Pulcini really quite close enough to challenge Kanemaru into the first of the Lesmos. In fact, Menchaca using a little bit more of the road than he'd have liked to suggests that possibly he is through the best of his tyres. The same for Pulcini, who runs out very, very wide. Now, is that going to leave him vulnerable to a challenge from Stern into Ascari? I don't think it will. As they head underneath the banking for the final time this weekend. Meanwhile, here comes the train at the head of the race towards the Parabolica for the final time. The RP Motorsport team are poised on the fencing as Damiano Fioravanti turns through the Parabolica. It's going to be an Italian driver winning at the Cathedral of Speed in Monza. He accelerates through and takes the checker flag, and Damiano Fioravanti wins ahead of Vitor Baptista in second place. Igor Wililko in third makes it an all RP Motorsport rostrum. 4th to Tanart Sathi and Thirikul. And then 5th to Yuki Kanemaru, 6th Diego Menchaca, 7th Leonardo Pulcini, 8th for Yarin Stern, Kandati Kasiri across the line in 9th, and Enrique Baptista completing the top 10. Absolutely perfect home event for the RP Motorsport team. They will be absolutely overjoyed with that. 1, 2, 3. And with Baptista's prime championship rival Terashenko retiring early on after that contact with Igor Wililko. Well, this is a day to remember for RP Motorsport, and particularly a day to remember for Damiano Fioravanti. He was so distraught yesterday to be caught up in the contact with Tanart Sathi and Thirikul, in which Fioravanti was completely innocent, and he has more than bounced back today. So he takes the win for Vitor Baptista. 19 more points in fact in his championship haul, because he also scored the fastest lap of the race, and that for the first time is really going to allow Baptista to put some serious daylight between himself and Konstantin Terashenko with just 2 races remaining. So en route towards Parc Fermé. We'll have a look at the final results. So Fioravanti wins it from Baptista, who scores fastest lap. Then Igor Wililko, Tanat Sathian Thirikul in fourth, clear of Yu Kanemaru and Diego Menchaca. Leonardo Pulcini in seventh, ahead of Yarin Stern, Candidate Kasiri, and Enrique Baptista having probably his career best weekend in the Euroformula Open. Alessio Rivera will be disappointed to be just outside the top 10, as will Anthony Patak. It's been a good debut for Ling Kang. Andres Saravia couldn't quite fight into the top 10 today, but he finished in 14th. But the big talking point, arguably the retirement of Konstantin Tereshchenko, because there you see it, some 32 points now adrift of Vitor Baptista. We have got just 54 points to race for when we head on to the Circuits Catalunya, and it is going to be between the pair of them for the championship. It's the 31st of October, 1st of November. Make sure that you join us as ever for what promises to be a thrilling season finale to the Euroformula Open, because as we have seen today, absolutely anything can happen. Damiano Fioravanti rolls to a halt in Parc Fermé to the applause of the RP Motorsport team. He is overjoyed with that. He's going to do the nose stand and leaps down to the congratulations of friends, family and well-wishers. There is always something very, very special about winning your home event. Vitor Baptista from 7th on the grid. Second is a very fine result for him. And Igor Wililko in 3rd place. He was also the top rookie today, ahead of Diego Menchaca and Leonardo Pulcini, who will complete that rookie podium. Drivers just weighing in then in Parc Fermé. Congratulations being proffered from Diego Menchaca. A race with plenty of drama and intrigue from the Euroformula Open. For the RP Motorsport team, smiles all around. I think they will thoroughly enjoy that. This event last year, they claimed the title with Sandy Stuvik. It didn't quite happen today for Vitor Baptista, but they have had a race to remember.
Damiano Fioravanti, first win, and here in Monza, you must be very happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy for this winner. This is my first podium, so I am so happy. And I say thank you to my team for everything for this weekend, and I hope to be like this for the next events.
Difficult race, but you stayed in front and everything went well.
Yeah, it's so difficult to stay in front here because there are the toes, so I did a good race, and I am satisfied.
Good, well done, now podium.
Thank you.
Delighted Damiano Fioravanti as the RP Motorsport team prepare for the podium celebrations. So let's take a look back then at the highlights of a dramatic race. As off the line, it was Tereshchenko who converted pole position as the pack jostled for position in the early stages. Lots of drivers getting in trouble a little bit early on, including Parth Gopard running wide and damaging his nose. But then, with the slipstream effect, Tereshchenko started to be swamped by the RP Motorsport hordes. First of all, Fioravanti taking a lead that he wouldn't relinquish, but then it was Igor Wililko who began to take his turn to challenge Tereshchenko. Tereshchenko trying to keep Wililko at bay, but then when he looked to challenge and repass, damaging the front suspension on his Campos car, clattering into the wall, and that put the Russian driver out of the race. A great pity for Tereshchenko, and one that leaves him with a lot to do going into the Circuit de Catalunya. William Barbosa's wonderful weekend came to an abrupt halt after this scary slide at Ascari, fortunately not being collected by the oncoming traffic. Thereafter, the real battle of the race was the one for fifth, with Hugh Kanemaru and Leonardo Pulcini having a frank exchange of views heading down the start and finish straight. But it was Damiano Fioravanti who scored a memorable home victory on a day where RP Motorsport locked out the podium, with Vitor Baptista in second and Igor Wililko in third. Wililko also the top rookie, clear of Diego Menchaca and Leonardo Pulcini. On to the rostrum then, and in third place Wililko, second place Baptista, and our race winner Damiano Fioravanti for RP Motorsport. The Italian national anthem rings out in honour of Damiano Fioravanti as Igor Wililko celebrates his second outright race podium of the season. Our runner-up, Vitor Baptista, a huge smile, and why not? He has got the championship upper hand heading to Barcelona. Have Damiano Fioravanti. Huge applause from the RP Motorsport team. They have had the perfect day here in Monza and celebrate on the podium. And doubtless there will be a lot of fun to be had with the champagne as the corks about to be popped. Champagne is sprayed all over the rostrum as we turn our attention to the rookie podium. In Barcelona, Konstantin Tereshchenko, he could still do it. All it would take is one bad race for Vitor Baptista, and then the Russian driver would be in with every chance of claiming the title, but it is going to be very, very close. Meanwhile, Wililko prepares to return to the top step of the podium, this time as the top rookie driver. More to celebrate for RP Motorsport, and they will be hoping that the next few races, the next few weeks, rush by until the 31st of October when we reconvene at the Circuit de Catalunya. So Wililko, our top rookie, from Diego Menchaca in second place, and Leonardo Pulcini in third. National anthem in honour of Igor Wililko, and more trophies presented. Leonardo Pulcini may have hoped for a little bit more from this weekend, but it wasn't quite to be. Diego Menchaca, our runner-up in the rookie class, and Igor Wililko, our top rookie. It's been an absolutely magnificent weekend of racing from the Euroformula Open here in Monza. We'll look forward to you joining us for the championship finale in Barcelona in the 31st of October.